you've made it through the first week of the 21 Days of Prayer for 2026. Not made it through as in like it's bad and you just, had to persevere through it.
We're hitting our stride.
But yeah, we're excited about the first week.
100%.
And so just like you'd be excited about, your first week or month or year of marriage, you're like fired up about the first week of 21 Days of Prayer. So you've made it through the first week, running full speed into day 8 for this 21 Days of Prayer in the waiting room. A lot of times when I'm writing all this stuff out, I say 21, and I just get tired of typing days of prayer, which is pretty lazy. And so I just put capital D, lowercase o, capital P, D.
Hey, you remember back in the day, this has been a long time ago, where when you were texting, like the abbreviations were a thing, like LOL.
I mean, people still use LOL, but like I'm thinking like BRB, TTYL,
be right back.
Yeah. Come on, there was
WRUD, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Or WRYD.
That was back when like that really hit stride when AOL Instant Messenger and stuff like that was popular. Hey, come on now, don't you think I'm too young for that? But I had an AIM back in the day.
When you put your CD into your CD-ROM to get the internet.
Yeah, because you had to have dial-up and all that. Okay, I don't remember dial-up. I'm not.
But now and then it was emojis. And like faces and pictures, but now it's meme. It's meme lords.
Memes,
that's what everybody.
I mean, I send GIFs back and or GIFs depending on who you're talking to, but send those back and forth to friends and anybody and everybody all the time.
Yeah.
So
Let's do this. Here we go. If you're watching on YouTube, put your favorite meme or GIF in the comments right now. It's a kid's show. Okay, this is a clean program.
Yes, we are still a church.
Yep. So beware, but put them down in the comments. We will
judge you based on if we think it's funny.
Yeah,
we're gonna rate them 1 to 10 on day 9. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. But one of the more common sayings, I don't think it was ever a big texting thing, but it got big in 2012 after Drake released a song with it. YOLO.
Oh,
you only live once. Yeah, and I mean, I still hear people say that today.
Not Christian theology at all.
No, well, I mean, it did come from a Drake rapper.
That's
song.
True.
So I mean, that was one of the major, I guess you could say, introductions of YOLO to the culture. So no surprise that it doesn't have proper Christian theology. In Titus chapter 2, what we talked about on day 8, you see the opposite of YOLO. In that it's not you only live once, so do whatever you want. But in those verses that we read from Titus chapter 2 today, it says that God's grace has appeared and it trains us to renounce worldliness and ungodliness. And so it's saying we're going to live, it literally, the phrase is self-controlled, upright, and godly lives in the present age. So like right now, YOLO, you only live once, so be godly. You only live once on earth, so renounce ungodliness and worldly passions and pleasures. You only live once, so be self-controlled. Whereas the world says YOLO, therefore do whatever you want. God says you're going to live forever. And you living forever is impacted by the choices and the lifestyle, the things you do now when you do truly only live once on earth, in this temporal present time here on earth. Your life is impacted in eternity based off what you're doing now. So it's not YOLO, but I couldn't come up with a good one. The best one I had was YWLF. You will live forever.
Okay. All right.
If you got a better one, please share. And if you got a better one, drop it in the comments. We would be happy to change that because I was pretty bored by that one. But that's the best I could do in my creativity. But it's true. You're going to live forever. And the life you live in eternity is impacted by the life you live now. I mean, so Titus says, God says through Paul in Titus chapter 2, be self-controlled, live godly lives.
But he uses this word like spiritual father, Paul writing to his spiritual son, Titus, leader in the church. I like he uses some manly language. He's like, Titus, there's some things that God's doing in your life, and it's training.
Yeah.
It's like this athletic term if you're training for an event or a run or a race or some sport. And there's this idea that there's something ahead of you, and what you're doing leading up to that is not just wasted time. And so for us in our lives, we can often view our waiting as a spiritual waste of time. But what if you viewed it like Paul says to Titus, there's doing some training in your life. He is preparing you for something. I think about how many times I've been through either a tough season or a season of waiting in my spiritual life, in my prayers. And my prayers begin to be just like one direction. God, get me out of this. Like I don't want to be here. So just like deliver me, remove this, get me out of this. Like, can we fast forward this season? And if you viewed your spiritual life as a training ground, then you begin to recognize like your training is essential to where you're going. You're never going to be able to get to the point where God's called you to be if you don't train. And so what if we changed our prayer life around from God, remove me from this, to asking questions like, all right, God, what are you trying to teach me in this? What are you trying to do in my life? What lesson do I need to learn? I believe this, go back to Psalm 23. I believe there are some lessons in life that you will only learn as you are walking through the valley of the shadow of death.
Yeah.
So, all right, God, I'm here. I'm in a valley, whatever that valley looks like. What are you trying to teach me? Because I don't want to move past the valley. As crazy as this sounds, I don't want to move past the valley until you train me in the ways of righteousness, until I learn the lesson that's going to prepare me for where I'm going next. So I appreciate that language, man. It kind of challenged me to think when Paul says, listen, man, it's time to train.
I mean, I think about it with salvation too. This is how God works in our salvation, is that it's not, all right, Nathan trusted in Christ for salvation and he got baptized, and the minute he was baptized, he ascended into heaven. But like, there's still work to be done. God's not just going to rescue you from earth right after you got saved, but instead he's going to try to redeem you, redeem your life, redeem the situations that you are in, the circumstances you find yourself in. And so a lot of times, like you said, it's not wrong to pray for deliverance and rescue. I mean, the Psalms outline how to pray for that. But at the same time, we also want to make sure that we're praying that God would redeem the situations we're in, and have eyes to see, what is it that God's trying to do in this situation, and not just get me out of it because I'm waiting. I want to get to the other side, when, like you said, God has you walking down a mountain into a valley and then to go back up to a mountain. Oftentimes we just want a bridge that goes straight across the valley and never enters into it. But God says, I'm going to redeem that valley. There's something I'm doing in that valley. And so don't skip it. Don't just waste your time in it, because it's not wasted time unless you waste it. So don't waste it. I think that's a great way to end day 8 for Titus chapter 2, for the devotion we had. It's talking about prayer and the waiting of not only about, as you called it, a one-directional type prayer where it's only about rescue, but also about how might God be redeeming the situation that we're in while we are in the waiting room.